North. Good night, Barbados Labour Party family. What a good turnout tonight. This is sending the message to the Democratic Labour Party that we are on board. We are on board and we are going to cruise to victory. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me no greater pleasure than to come to St. Michael North in support of a good friend, a good BLP man, a good politician, a good man known as Ronald Toppin. And I am very happy tonight to be here because Ronald Toppin is part of the St. Michael team. And you know, in St. Michael, we have Colonel Jeffrey Bosick, of course, who is going to run home once again in his city and tell Henderson Williams go and never come again. We have Bishop Atherley, who have served the constituency of St. Michael West for years. And we also have persons like Arthur Holder, who will on this occasion go to Parliament. We also have Marsha Carroll in St. Michael South Central, and Marsha will definitely dethrone Richard Seeley. And then we have Trevor Prescott, sitting member of Parliament for St. Michael East. We have Santia Bradshaw. We have Neil Rowe on the boundary. Well, we have Mayor Morley, but she doesn't need any endorsement because she is known and she will be the next Prime Minister. And of course, we have Ronald Toppin, who we are here in support of tonight. And having been elected to serve in Parliament since 1994, I can tell you that Ronald Toppin has been faithful, he's been caring, he's been compassionate, and he's been a thorough representative for the people of St. Michael North. He's most thorough in his research. He's very impressive with his house-to-house canvassing. In fact, perhaps other than Ramel Marshall, I don't know, you have another one who is just as impressive and thorough when it comes to house-to-house canvassing. This is a man who continues to canvass his constituency day in and day out. And he can tell you how many times he has canvassed his constituency. As a Minister of Commerce, he has taken and, well, he has done excellent work for not only the people of St. Michael North, but for all of Barbados. He broke the telephone monopoly that would have otherwise seen us paying $5 and $3 and $4 for telephone calls, including long-distance calls. He's been able to break through the barrier to give us a choice that today, ladies and gentlemen, we are paying lower charges, we are paying lower rates, for cellular phones. And the country must thank him. He set up the Fair Trading Commission. And when you look at the pieces of legislation that he would have been responsible for, he's done an outstanding job, not only in the name, like he said, of the people of St. Michael North, but all of Barbados. And I can tell you that as a candidate, Ronald Toppin has given me a lot of advice. He has helped me. He even introduced me to the concept of his flair. That is that when you go to people's homes and you don't see them, you don't leave a small card saying, "I miss you," but you leave a fairly good-sized sheet to let them know you went by and that you'll be there again. He would call me when I'm finished canvassing, and he would ask me how many houses I canvassed this evening. And he too would share the same for me. So here it is. You have a man who's not only caring about the people of St. Michael North, but a man who took time out to help to nurture the candidates on the border, persons like myself, so that we can go out and do justice in the name of the Barbados Labour Party and help us to rid the Barbados of the Democratic Labour Party. And I say to you that not only is Ronald Toppin a clinical debater, he's tough, like I say, he's thorough, but, and of course, You know, use of language, he's very precise. Whenever he's speaking in Parliament, especially during the budget or the estimates or anything relating to tourism, he would force the Democratic Labour Party people into hiding. And that's a fact. You've heard him. He's very clinical when it comes to debating. His presentations on tourism, those presentations are spot on. I work in tourism, and I can tell you there's no other in the Parliament who can deal with tourism like Ronald Toppin. He served the Barbados Labour Party well on that matter, and he prosecutes the Democratic Labour Party. So much so, like I told you before, they have to go into hiding. That is the caliber of a man that you want in St. Michael North. That is the caliber of a man that you want in the Parliament of Barbados. That is the caliber of the man that we need to help the Barbados Labour Party rebuild Barbados. Ronald Toppin, ladies and gentlemen. He's an outstanding man, a good patriot, and a wonderful person for the people of St. Michael North and indeed the Barbados Labour Party. And for the past 10 years, since Ronald has been in opposition, the Dems have denied this constituency of good roads, natural gas, and drainage. You know what I'm talking about. For the past 10 years, they have contributed to high unemployment in this constituency. When Ronald Toppin was in office with the Barbados Labour Party, the people in this constituency had jobs. Unemployment was down to 6%, where we found it when we came to office in 24. When Ronald Toppin was in government, the people in this constituency had good roads. They had good drainage. But today, the people in St. Michael North have to struggle because they don't have these things. But I say to you, and my simple message is this: 90 days to go. Help is on its way, ladies and gentlemen, and there shall be no stopping Ronald Toppin. And in St. Michael North, we share the border. I share the border in St. Michael West Central with Ronald. And like St. Michael North, the residents of St. Michael West Central too want good roads. They want natural gas. They want drainage. And can you imagine, now we're speaking about natural gas, as we go down St. Stephen's Hill, from the top here to the bottom, would you believe that they dug and they laid natural gas mains for commercial purposes, but the people in surrounding areas can't get natural gas, and they had to suffer the inconvenience of dust and vehicular traffic being diverted in this area, and they can even give the people in return natural gas in the surrounding areas. At Grisette's playing field, you will recall that when Ronald Toppin was in Parliament, when Ronald Toppin was in government, Ronald Toppin, from end to end, made sure that that playing field was dug, tunnels were laid, and it was relayed to ensure you had a good playing field in the area. Tonight, when you walk that area, what happens? When you walk that area, what do you see? A playing field that has been neglected by the Democratic Labour Party. When you go and you see the tunnels that have been blocked, that would allow proper drainage, ladies and gentlemen, so that it doesn't flood and flood out the residents. Tonight, that is broken. When you come around Denton Road on the Denton Bridge, that bridge is about to collapse. And despite repeated pleas from myself and Ronald Toppin, they have not come to the rescue. The Dems are disastrous for Barbados. The Dems don't deserve any more chances. We are on board with this Barbados Labour Party ship. I will ask St. Michael North to forgive me for just a minute or two, because I have to deal with this one called James Paul. And he walks around St. Michael West Central, and he's trying to claim roads that he never asked or he never had any input in doing. He goes to a meeting in St. James South, and he tells the people that you got to tell in civil servants that they got to put country first. Well, James Paul, I want you to put country first and leave the people of St. Michael West Central. Go along about your business, James Paul. The people don't want to see you. You have failed St. Michael West Central. And now I have come along, and I have worked tirelessly with the ministry to get roads done. He's trying to come to lame, to take credit for something that he never asked. But fortunately, the people of St. Michael West Central knew who organized and who was trying to get help for them. You see, because we went to them before and we told them what the roads were going to be done, and we asked them for the patience. And about 2 weeks before, the representative went around. And when one of the ladies asked him, not going to call her name, when the old lady asked him, James, when are you going to do the road? The government ain't got no money. The government ain't got no money. That was his response. And the next day when the road commenced, he and Michael Lazy rushed in and draft letters and send it to the people and say, look, we have to get the roads done. And the people are laughing at him. Not only did we get Jackman Road done, we did Hines. We got older that the people were suffering. Over 10 years of rule with James Paul. And we got some others that we have to do because the people of St. Michael West Central pay taxes like all of us. And you are entitled to good roads like the people of St. Michael North and the surrounding St. Michael area. So I will deal with him when we get to St. Michael West Central. Because I'm going to prosecute him. Because he ought to be prosecuted for his epic failure as a member of parliament for St. Michael West Central. And he goes to St. James South again. And he tells the people that the roads are a result of it, that the Barbados, that you would imagine that the Barbados Labour Party former representative was a minister of public works, trying to imply from then that the roads can get done. And he has been serving St. Michael West Central for 10 years. Well, I'm not going to tell James Paul that you really can't compare yourself to the likes of a Rommel Marshall. You really can't. Because when Rommel Marshall went to that constituency, he repaired roads up and down. His representative and his representation and service to St. Michael West Central must remain unquestionable because he did a good job. And the people of St. Michael West Central know this. But we are going to deal with him in the fullest of time. But I want also to say to you that this country is witnessing what can best be described as perhaps the worst performing government in modern history within Barbados. It is wrong that they have implemented hardship upon hardship and taxes upon taxes on you, the people of this constituency. And when you look around, you can't see what is happening. You take, for example, the Transport Board. They inherited a bus service. A good bus service, I dare tell you, not because I serve as chairman. Jerome Walker also served as a former chairman of the Transport Board too. And he would tell you that when the Barbados Labour Party came to office in 1994, the bus service was just as bad as it is today. They had approximately 60 buses on the road. 1994, you could not get a bus. There were certain areas where a bus would only come every 3 hours. There were the doubling of bus routes in Barbados. We came to office in 1994, and as good and a responsible government that we are, we bought 100 buses, followed by 110, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? We didn't stop there. We went back again, and we bought buses in 2004. We bought buses in 2006 because we had the foresight in the Barbados Labour Party to have a fleet replacement policy that would allow us to buy buses every approximate number of buses every couple of years, because it didn't make sense waiting to buy all these buses in one go because you know the retirement age for the buses will be coming up. But we did that. And we had a lot of buses on the roads. And you know that the bus requirement in Barbados for peak
availability requirements, I will tell you, is about approximately 300 buses. And I told you at Bank Hall, a month from today, it was February 4th. I told you at Bank Hall that the bus availability is at 21%. And it is getting worse every day because they don't know what to do, ladies and gentlemen. They don't know. And you know, and I will repeat this, what I said at Bank Hall too, that if you're spending approximately $109 million over a 10-year period on buses, don't you think, for repairs and maintenance, don't you think a wise government will say, look, this doesn't make sense. This is not a commercial decision. Let us buy some buses, which will cost you less than $109 million, that you can take the cost and capitalize it on the balance sheet and take the operating pressure off the transport board and the profit and loss statement. You would have increased revenues because you would have had more buses on the road and you would have had more passengers on those buses. And you could have done other things that when people want to go to picnics on Sundays, you would have availability for those as well. You effectively could have had the transport board operating, but instead they refused to look at it. They refused to do anything. And what happened, ladies and gentlemen? As a result, the deficit accumulated, where tonight you have over $600 million in accumulated deficit at the transport board. And you want to tell me that people should even consider voting for the Democratic Labour Party again? But I go further, and I say to you that Michael Lazy, a man called Michael Lazy, doesn't even know the current state of the buses in Barbados. Well, let me give him a little bit of an education. The current state of the fleet is as follows. You have 100 buses that are over 23 years of age. You have 110 buses that are over 18 years old. You have 30 buses that are 15 years and older. And you have 70 buses that are 12 years old. Now, if you take all of that together and you take an average, the average age of the fleet of the transport board is 17 years old. 17 years old today. When Michael Lazy was given responsibility for the bus service, when Michael Lazy was given responsibility for the bus service in Barbados, the average age of a bus was 12 years. When his predecessor, you call it who? John Loss. John Loss, that's what we refer to him. When he took responsibility, the average age would have been 7 years. Do you understand the point I'm making? So here it is, that when the Barbados Labour Party left office, not only did he have a lot of buses on the road, but the average age was 7 years old. Tonight, the average age of the bus is 17 years old. Now tell me who keeps, other than if you're a collector of vintage vehicles, tell me who retains a vehicle for that period of time. But they compliment the workers at the transport board. Notwithstanding the challenges there, that they go to work hard to ensure that you, the commuters, get to work and get there safely, ladies and gentlemen. But all these things are happening. Bus availability at its lowest. And you have a situation where they continue to pay a foreign consultant thousands of dollars. Is that right, ladies and gentlemen? It is wrong. It is wrong. And when the Barbados Labour Party said it is going to call for forensic audit, I say to you that there is more to be unearthed in the transport board. I know, but it's my secret for now. But there's a lot more to be unearthed at the transport board. And I'm waiting, and we shall wait, and we shall see. So that it is clear that the Dems don't know how to manage. They don't know how to manage. You have a broken economy. You have a broken sewage system. You have a broken bus service. You have a broken Queen Elizabeth Hospital. All the Dems know is about breaking down everything, ladies and gentlemen. They like to wait for everything to break down. And I say to you that hope is on its way. 90 days will shortly be here. They couldn't get it done. They introduced and gave us false hope. And I'm going to close on this point. They would want to give you the impression that they are now going to buy buses. No tender has been published in the newspaper for the transport board to purchase any buses in Barbados. Not one tender has been published. That's the first thing. And I say to you that we have to remain vigilant. Don't mind him trying to give you false hope that he can get coaches to transport school children. That is nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. They cannot even pay their suppliers that they owe $60 million. Where are you going to find money to pay for coaches, ladies and gentlemen? It is a load of nonsense and false hope. And I say to you as I close, that this Barbados Labour Party is a good party. You know what we are about. I want you to continue. Ask your friends and families to support the Barbados Labour Party. We are going to move to victory. This Barbados Labour Party, you are on board, I am on board, we are all on board, and we are all going to go to Parliament because this Democratic Labour Party must go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well said, Ian. Barbados, the Barbados Labour Party is on the way. We must restore Barbados so that Barbados works for everybody. So tonight I have a very special shout out for Cheryl and Marcia, who live right here in this constituency, for her children who are the backbone of her family. She loves them very much. And I would say this to you, because the children mean so much to their families, their parents, their grandparents. It is deep in the heart of the Barbados Labour Party to make sure that children get the very best advantage. We believe that our children should have every opportunity to excel, and that they should be able to go as far as their talents will take them, not how much money their parents have in their pocket. And that is why the Barbados Labour Party is so